Why don't you walk us back to the very beginning of the scandal unfolding at Veterans Affairs for people who don't know? Why don't you take us back to the very beginning, to that very first veteran?
Perfect. That's where I wanted to start. So we're thinking alike here. All the credit doesn't go to me, not at all. It goes to the first veteran that came forward. So before this broke on Global News with Mercedes Stephenson, it almost broke with you. It was this close.
You know what? Like I said in the last interview, we wanted to respect the veteran. He wasn't ready for it to be a national story, although Global didn't think so. And I just thought, this man is experiencing an acute mental health care issue. It's being made worse by Veterans Affairs. And so I need to make sure that I don't do anything to make that worse.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that he gets the credit for starting all this. Yeah. So he went through an intermediary through a friend of his who knew Mercedes personally. And that's how the story was broke. So I still think she only broke it that morning because you and I were talking. Mm-hmm. But either way, I don't care. It was broke. That's all that
his
that
story's
matters.
out there. That's what matters. Yeah.
Yeah. And the initial response when that story got out there through the Global story, in the veteran community, most people weren't shocked, which is shocking in itself.
Yeah.
There's so much disappointment and lack of trust with VAC. And I say this as a guy who receives VAC benefits, but getting those benefits, it was a 5-year meat grinder. I'd rather go back into a war zone than go through that again. And I mean that sincerely. Going through VAC is not a good time. And most people either don't start because they've heard the stories or they don't make it through the meat grinder. I mean, it takes some kind of resolve to not give up and to stick it out. And it shouldn't be like that. It's freaking so predatory. And that's why in the veteran community, you constantly hear deny, deny, deny until they die. And that is our impression of VAC. Now, I don't know, Sheila, if it's just the bureaucracy or if it's on purpose or maybe a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. But the amount of people, if you think paying for us is expensive now, I would guess maybe 20% of the people that should be getting benefits are getting benefits. About 20%. That's my best guess from the years that I've been in this community. And I know this because of all the people that they tap out because it's too much. I mean, I personally have claims that should go in that are totally valid, but I look at the mountain of paperwork and the 5-year fight ahead of me, and I just like, oh God, I don't know if it's worth it. I'm entitled to it and they're genuine, but I don't have the fight in me.
I was sorry to interrupt you, but I was talking to our mutual friend, Mike Mayer, and he was telling me just the humiliating things that veterans have to do to prove that they are still injured. Like you have to prove that your blown off legs haven't grown back.
Yeah, Tommy Anderson lost his legs on our tour way back in 94. So this is a long time ago. And since 1994, every year he's got almost 4 there. Every year he's got to prove his legs hadn't grown back. Now, I've heard this in the House of Commons being brought up and, like you're just not getting an answer. You have people just sugarcoating it or skipping over it. Like, how do you skip over this? Stop it. Stop making people prove, I mean, it's fine to do a checkup and say, hey, has anything got better? Has anything got worse?
Right.
But your legs aren't going back. Your eyeball isn't growing back in your head, so maybe have those off the checklist. And it's a good example of VAC acting like an insurance company, right? It's on us to prove everything. So they're treating every single veteran as being treated like a scammer. So we're all being treated like a scammer. We have private detectives following us around. I know several people have had this. And with our hypervigilance, we can usually pick the creepy person, right? My wife is always mystified. It's like, how did you see this? And how did you hear that? It's like, I can't not see it. I can't not hear it. Yeah, war does it. And but this is what we're going through all the time, and it's wrong. I mean, Trudeau can spend billions of dollars sending it to North Africa for gender studies for cantaloupe, but he can't look after veterans. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, hey, what you just saw there is a clip from my weekly full-length show, The Gun Show. It airs on Wednesday, but this is the internet. You can watch it whenever you feel like. You just have to become a subscriber to our paywalled premium content. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com to become a member today.